Hey everybody, Marcos Vegas here in Los Angeles, being joined by Robert Garcia. His fighter, of course, Brandon Rios, taking on Mike Alvarado in a highly anticipated rematch coming up at the Mandalay Bay. And Robert, the first fight, back and forth. Brandon ends up winning, but both fighters took a lot of damage. The second fight around, are you worried about the type of damage that Brandon might sustain, even though you guys feel that he will win?
I'm not worried about damage. Brandon, that's the type of fight Brandon wants. I'm worried about the damage that Alvarado might have sustained because he had never been in a fight like that, and he got knocked out. So who knows what effect that knockout did on Alvarado. Brandon trained very hard, and Brandon's ready for a war. It could have been somebody else. It's still going to be a war with Brandon. He's been in those many times already. Nothing new for us. We're prepared for another war, and Brandon. If you ask Brandon thinks, and I agree with Brandon, that he could knock him out earlier this time.
Why is it that you guys feel that he'll be able to knock him out earlier? Do you guys feel that even though it is going to be a war, it's going to be an easier war this second time around?
Well, because just the confidence that we already knocked him out once. Why couldn't we? Why won't we be able to do it again? Plus the training that Brandon did, he added stronger sparring partners. We added morning runs that he never did before. We added a little more weights. Everything changed. No vitamins. Brandon's the type of fighter that never really took vitamins. Now we added all that, so he should be more explosive, faster, and stronger.
Overhearing you said that Brandon's finally doing strength training, and it's been a focus of this camp, but it was hard to get him to do that before. Why was it so hard to get him to do that before, and why change now, the focus on that in particular? What changed?
Well, his mentality has always been, all we got to do is boxing, boxing workout, and we always did very hard workouts. He trains very hard when he's in the gym, but now that they told Cameron comes and tells him, you got to fight Alvarado again, that wasn't our choice. Brandon says, why do I have to fight him again? I already knocked him out. Well, that's what HBO, that's what Barbarian wants. Okay, they want me to do it again. This time I'm gonna knock him out earlier. So that's why his mentality changed. That what, I got to do something there. I got to add these things to my training and add things that I had never done before because I want to be better. And he wants to knock him out sooner this time.
Looking at the new things, talk to me a little bit. What are these new things that he's doing?
Well, a lot more in the morning with him doing sprints, and I'm not a strength and conditioning coach, but we use a lot of the ladder footwork that they do to get them, their heart pumping and all that. He's been doing it very well for the past 2.5 months. He's in tremendous shape. Those things plus a little more weights in the evenings. He does a little more weights with some also does elastic cords, and just to get him a little bit faster and stronger. So those are things that should give us a big plus.
Looking at Brandon, if you had one thing that you could change about him, anything, what would you change about him?
What would I change about him? I don't. Maybe his eating habit. Maybe his eating habit, because everything else, the way he fights, the way he acts, something I would never change.
Yeah.
I love him for that. People love him for that. His eating habit is, after in between fights, he loves to eat. Yeah. That's the only thing that I would change in him. And if I had the power to do it, that's the first thing I would do. I don't. He just doesn't have control. But he still makes weight, and he's still comfortable, and he still fights like a beast. So why would we even change that? Maybe changing that would affect him.
Looking at last weekend, the Provodnikov fight, it's a hell of a battle. And immediately people were like, oh, imagine if Brandon Rios were to fight Provodnikov. Do you think that's going to happen? And what do you guys think about it? What would happen in a fight like that?
Brandon, if you ask Brandon would love that fight. Brandon would sign the contract right away. But we leave that up to Cameron Duncan. He's our manager, and he decides who we fight. He does a great job at it. And if it's the Russian that we have to fight, or if it's Bradley, or if it's Marcus, or if it's Pacquiao, we leave that up to our manager Cameron Duncan. He's really good at it. I think he's the best at it. So that's his decision. But if it is, Brandon will love the fight. I wouldn't mind taking it. I think Brandon's style is perfect, and it would just be a all-out war, and that's what Brandon loves. So why would I choose something else?
It would be amazing if it did happen, because Brandon would go from Alvarado 2, which is looking to be another Fight of the Year candidate, to that one, which would be for sure a Fight of the Year candidate. Either or, next weekend, your fighter looks very ready. Any parting words, Robert?
we have to focus on Alvarado right now. The fight is not easy. We got to go with a mentality that we're going to beat Alvarado, the positive mentality. Brandon's ready to beat him. Brandon's ready to knock him out. So we have to come in with that mentality. After that, I can't think of what's next because we first got to go through Alvarado, and that's Cameron Duncan's job. So we leave it all up to him.
Robert, as always, we thank you very much. Here with Robert Garcia at the Fortune Gym, awaiting Alvarado versus Rio 2 at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada.